Hi, my name is Nick DeMagistris with Transwest Trucks out of Colorado. We're here today looking at one of our Foremost 1600 SD units. It's a brand new 2021 model featuring a Western Star 4700 chassis. It has a Detroit DD13 engine in it, and it has a Foremost 1600 SD hydrovac body. So we're just going to take a quick run around it and show you some features and different things on it. We'll probably start in the cab and just go through some of the driver comforts and different features inside. So the Western Star 4700 set forward cab is extremely comfortable. So part of when our team was putting the specs together for the truck, we wanted to really make sure we had driver comfort in mind. And when they're out using these trucks all day, the operators, I mean, it's a very demanding job. So having a comfortable truck to drive up and down the road is extremely important. So like I said, it's a Detroit DD13 engine. It's got 470 horsepower. It comes with an Allison automatic transmission at 6-speed. You've got beacon lights, headlights. The nice part about these, you've got full lockers on your truck. So for tough places to get in and out of. Your suspension dump in case you need to drop the airbags. The nice part about these trucks, they all come with backup camera systems. Which these have 2 cameras facing, so one for the left and one for the right side. If you use your blinker, you can actually favor one side or the other, and then to reset it, it just goes back, turn your blinker off, and it brings up both. The nice part with these cameras, they are waterproof, mud-proof, and there is audio, so if you have an operator back there or somebody flagging you, they yell stop, you can actually hear them inside the cab if the truck is running. The other nice thing that all of our trucks come standard with now, we have an onboard air scale system by Airway. So it's a company that makes scales designed for different applications for heavy trucks. There's 2 scales, one actually on the front axle and one on the rear set of axles. What it does is it just gives you your weight real time. So as you're loading the truck or unloading the truck with water, with material, you know real time where your weight is. So depending on what part of the country you're operating in, weight is a very sensitive issue, so people want to know real time what it is. That also integrates with our remote, so we use RCOM remote systems. The nice part is when you turn these on, it'll actually display the overall weight of the vehicle at the actual time. So when your operator is using the truck, he'll know right on here how much he weighs total. As to, you know, if you're trying not to overload yourself or anything like that, you'll have a really good indicator. But nice setup inside. You got a 2-man bench seat, air ride driver seat with heat controls. Everything's extremely accessible and comfortable inside. And then we'll start kind of on the outside with the Foremost body and just kind of walk through some of those features that come standard with all of our trucks. This is to lube your blower. It basically takes diesel fuel off of the fuel tank and puts it on your blower. So we feature Robushki 125 blowers, and you can see it back here. The Robushki 125 has 3,800 CFM at 27 inches of mercury. So that lever is essentially just taking diesel fuel and putting it onto the blower to help prevent rust, to lube the blower up basically to prevent any buildup and smooth operation. So the van body on the SD is smaller than the HD. It's a 42-inch van body. It's insulated, it's got all your essential stuff inside. So on this side is mostly for PPE and gear. Your lances for excavating are in here. So all the trucks come with a wash gun, 2 lance extensions, and then 2 dig wands with different tips on them. Every truck comes up with a spare filter for the filter, first aid kit, and it comes with all the filters and oils for your first service change. So that's kind of nice. The hydraulic tank up here, and then on the other side you'll actually have the water pump and the boiler. So you have 2 dig tube extensions on the back of the cab. That's just for if you get into some deep holes. This is your filter for it. There's a large air filter inside. Basically it prevents any large and fine particulates from getting in your blower. Your cyclone clean out is right here. So your heavy solids will fall, you can spray in here, it'll actually wash out. And there's also a fitting up top. It's hard to see from the ground, but you can actually plumb it to shoot down and wash your cyclone out that way. So these tanks on the Foremost 1600 SD, they're what I call a fixed tank design, so they don't hoist to offload. They're fixed to the frame of the truck. It's 13 cubic yards of debris material, and then on the bottom part is 1,600 gallons of fresh water. So 13 yards and then 1,600 gallons. And if you look close on the right light, the other side might be easier, there's a weld that goes angular on the tank. So your water is stored on the bottom part and your debris kind of fills the top portion. And what that allows it to do is when you open the door, it will offload the material. There's a spray bar system inside, and then the material has gravity to help itself out. There is an option on the truck if you would like to have a sludge pump installed. This one does not have it, but we do offer a hydrovac sludge pump addition to it with the controls and everything on there. As you can see, the backup cameras on the rear of the truck, they face off of each side. Those are the ones that we saw inside the cab. Full opening rear door. You have all your manual controls right here. So anything that you can run off the remote, you can also run manually. So every truck comes with 2 RCOM remotes. If for some reason you lose both of them, you're not completely out of luck for running the truck on a job site. Everything can be done manually. You have a debris level indicator. So it starts to tell you as you're getting full, there's a float inside the tank that will actually rise up. So, and then our boom system, it is a 27-foot reach boom. And then we have an 8-inch dig tube hose. And we usually have either an 8-inch dig tube or a 6-inch dig tube, depending on preference. 8-inch is nice, just some guys prefer that. Other guys like the 6-inch tube just to prevent rocks from getting stuck in the hose. They'll usually get them stuck at the end of the dig tube. And the boom will reach 340 degrees. So basically I tell guys from pillar to pillar on the outside of the van body, it'll reach all the way around. You have water sight glass indicators on the side of the tank. So there's 4 of them. There's one low, and then as they go up, you can see them there. This is a recirculation line, so it basically comes off your water pump when you turn your lance off. Instead of just hammering on the pump, it'll just send the water back to the tank. It's also nice in the winter months. You can run your water heater and it'll just recirculate the water while you're waiting so you don't freeze anything. There's 2 large cyclones. Basically they're just big mufflers and sound dampeners. It just helps kind of keep the noise in control. They're all heated and insulated lines and valves, so you'll see all this heat wrap. There's not much exposed on the outside of the truck, but this fitting and the water line have insulated heat wraps and heat trace lines. So those are the only 2 points on the exterior of the truck that are exposed to the elements, and they're wrapped in heat trace and insulation for that exact reason. You can kind of get a nice shot of the blower on this side too. You can see it's a little bit easier to see on this side. And there's 2 hydraulic cooling fans on the unit. One for the hydraulics for the water pump and like turret system, and then one for the actual blower. And then you have all your drains at the low points so you don't have any water building up in your system. There's safe idle down switches, so in an emergency, there's one on the back of the truck, one here and one on the other side. You can hit that, it'll relieve the vacuum pressure, it'll idle everything down. Just a nice built-in safety feature. So on this side, you have a Dynablast 700,000 BTU boiler, so a water heater. It does have steam capability for people that might need it. Your hose reel, that's kind of just a universal thing. It comes out the side of the door. That's 50 feet standard with it. We can do bigger hose reels if we need. This is a Cat 3560 water pump. It's capable of 20 gallons a minute at 3,000 PSI. Now you can set that lower or higher if you need to, but we set them at 3,000 as the max, and then guys can back them off if they need to. There's a banjo pump for recirculating water or filling water if you need to. And then all the cabinets have built-in heaters, again, to keep all this warm in cold months. A glycol system, so where that's nice is in the winter time. You can pretty much winterize your truck, and what that does is you drain all your water out, but you run glycol through anywhere that's a hose reel or hose line, just prevents it from freezing. So it's really easy to do that and then actually reclaim it. It's a very simple process, there's not much to it. On the foremost units, This is the control panel. It's got all your switches for basic operating. That's the entire wiring schematic. So there's no computers and sensors. It's all easy to read wiring. If a fuse blows, you know which one it is. So there's no computer troubleshooting diagnostics. You don't need a laptop and a technician to troubleshoot your truck if something's wrong. It's very, very simple. Another feature that we put, these are smart wands that Arcom makes. So your hose reel goes onto here, your lance goes onto here. What this does, it measures G-force and shock impact. So if it senses that it's dropped, it'll cut the water pump off so you won't have a runaway hose. So same thing, angles or drop. It'll measure G-force and angle pitch. And you can set that. And this also will display your weight real time. So that's kind of a nice feature. So that in a nutshell is pretty much the entire truck from front to back. My name is Nick DeMagistris. I handle the Western U.S. territory for Transwest Hydrovac Division. Our Hydrovac Division is nationwide, so if you do need rentals, parts, service, sales, anything like that, we have somebody there to help you. Feel free to reach out to Transwest Direct. The number is 303-301-7500, and just ask to be connected to the Hydrovac department, and they'll get you in touch with your sales rep.